Hey! Welcome back to Backseat Driver. Today we're going to talk about the top three pet peeves as a driver in Singapore. I'm Julian. You have Idris with us as well with John. Hey guys, so tell
What's
us,
up?
what is your top three pet peeves as a driver in Singapore?
Okay, I think I will start first with my number three biggest pet peeve. Now, well, before I start, I think I must mention that I'm not the most talented driver out there, but somehow I will still meet terrible ones on the road. And the thing which I'm quite bothered with is safety. When there's a complete disregard for safety. Like at least make some effort, no? And it starts with checking your blind spots. This is my third biggest pet peeve. It's not very hard. I mean, just look over your shoulder and that's it. But some people still can argue when I tell them to check their blind spots and they say, oh, it's not really necessary because the wing mirrors of the car is a bit big or whatever. I'm like, dude, just look over your shoulder, man. And I think it's partly because these people have not been in a situation where they are, or rather, they have not been caught in a situation where they are in the blind spot themselves and almost sort of get into an accident. So that's why I've always said this, but I think everyone should first have a class 2B motorcycle license before they get their class
Yes,
3. I think
yes,
this is in
yes.
Taiwan, this is true, if I'm
Oh,
not wrong. Yeah, that you have to have a
A bike
small motorcycle
license.
license, yeah, at least a 2B. So yeah, I that's like I'm a bit agitated when I'm talking about this. So I think one of you guys can tell me your third biggest pet peeve.
John, what about you?
okay. Wow, mine is a bit not. It's a bit driver related.
Okay.
But it's also infrastructure. My pet peeve is ERP gantries, and it's okay. I understand you need to regulate traffic and so that the cars don't bunch up on the expressway during rush hour because a lot of people just go at the same time. But this is especially true for one gantry that I go past every morning is PIE towards Changi Airport at Whitley Road. For some reason, cars will slow down before the gantry. Around 8:25 ish. They think that 8:30 is when it gets cheaper. But no, it only gets cheaper at 8:50. So everybody slows down there. There's no other reason why you should slow down at that part of the expressway, but they do.
Yeah.
And then the moment you clear the gantry, it's smooth traffic again. So I feel that ERP gantry actually defeats its own purpose. It slows traffic down when it's supposed to regulate the number of cars on the road to make traffic smoother. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of other ERP gantries around the island that causes this bunching up of traffic, especially when it's near the hour mark or the half hour mark where people think that it's going to be cheaper, then they start slowing down. And I don't know, man. It's a very stupid design. Yeah, that is my number three pet peeve, which I face every morning.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But
Well,
I have
I face something every morning as well that's really annoying. I think it's just me. I suspect because I'm quite an impatient driver by nature. My number three is how drivers at the start of the light fail to move off promptly when the light turns green.
yes.
That just grinds my gears, man. I mean, so I don't usually use my horn because my mentality is that my honk is only used for emergency purposes to avoid accidents or to inform others of potential dangers. So I always use the high beam instead. But of late, I realized that the high beam no longer works. So I decided to just use my honk instead because it's just more effective. It's more sudden and rude, I will think, more inconsiderate, but I really don't care because these drivers at the front, if they're at the first at the lights, I think it's basic courtesy to just move off when it turns green. I mean, you can use your phone at the lights. You can do whatever you want to do. You want to take out a hamburger and have a bite at it while the light is still red. I think by all means go ahead. But I think it's important to at least pay attention to the surroundings as you drive, as when you're on the road at least, so that the people, you'll never know, the people behind you might be in a rush to the hospital or to a $1 million meeting. I don't know, something, but just don't hog the lights.
Okay.
I get what you feel.
Which is worse, okay? People who don't move off immediately, or you're the first person there, but as the red light goes on, a cyclist creeps up and just goes in front of you at the red light. And then it turns green, then the cyclist starts slowly moving off. Which is worse?
Well, I think the latter could be worse.
Yeah,
I think the
yeah,
cyclist thing will be worse.
I'm completely fine when bikes filter all the way to the front, but
Yeah, that's fine with me
that's,
as well.
I mean
I'm
that
perfectly fine as
is
well.
it's a safe space for motorcyclists to wait at the lights, but
Yeah.
there are some like
Okay, but Idris, I think we feel that way because we rode bikes before.
yeah
Right? I mean, we have bikes, so
Yeah.
we are completely, we understand uh, the 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 perspective of being a biker, right?
yes,
And
but
then at the same
even
time we drive, so we can understand, we can feel for the bikers.
yes, but I think bikers also can agree. There are some bikers on the road who are too
Yeah,
damn
yeah.
slow to be filtering, and it
No,
just
but
gets a
that
bit dangerous.
I'm all for whatever can be cyclists. I'm all for sharing cyclists or whatnot, but I think we need to be responsible. That's all I think.
Yes,
Alright,
yes.
Okay.
Okay. So what's your number two? What's your number two? Tell us.
Okay, so my number two is not related to moving or driving in general, or is it?
Okay.
Well, it's related to parking. So the
Hey,
car
I've got a parking one. I've got a parking one.
so
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
I know
yeah.
I know John also is affected by this because he did mention his car has gotten a couple of dings already
Yeah.
at the new parking lot. So yes, so
Uh,
for me, I always look for a lot which is I will hunt for the best lot actually. I will go
mm,
out of my way to find a secluded spot or a lot in a corner in the parking lot. And sometimes I will purposely move the car closer to, let's say, a wall so that, there's more space for everyone to open the doors and prevent the chance of getting a ding. But always when that happens, when I find, wow, the lot is really very sweet, like all the way at the end of the parking lot, and then when I come back to the car, right, some fella will be parked right beside me. The whole car park can be empty, then just one dude would be like parked beside me, and he will park even closer to me because of the gap that I've created by being I, I, I just
maybe that guy was me. Maybe that guy was me.
what
I would have parked right beside you, man. I would have left the whole car park lot empty, and I
no.
would just find your car. I'll just park it right beside
Yeah,
you.
that's the thing about sgCarMart. I mean, I do that to Sushen also, our colleague. Whenever I see his car in the car park, I will go very close. But
Yeah.
that's a joke that we do amongst ourselves. But yeah, I don't understand why people do that. And I think the reason is because people use cars and objects to gauge the space in the lot. So when they see another car parked, then they realize that, oh, they can use the car to sort of as a
Yeah,
reference
yeah,
point
yeah,
to reverse
yeah.
instead of looking at the
Lines.
lines, to as how you learn in school. So yeah, I think to solve that problem, I think really people should just learn how to park again. Look at the lines, don't use another car, and then yeah, and also tell your passengers to not open the door and just ding someone else's car.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
some
man.
people don't understand this concept at all. Like some passengers are like they'll just open it and then
Yeah, they
ding
won't
somebody
care.
else.
They won't care.
Then I'm
They
like,
won't care.
dude, you're damaging not just my car, you're damaging the other person's car, and it's just yeah,
Brian
okay.
does that.
Oh,
Brian did
Brian,
that
oh
to my
yes,
car twice.
yes, I remember. Okay, yeah, I need to calm down. I'm a bit agitated, so
Yeah.
can
I get
please
agitated when I talk about this stuff as well, man. I mean, this, like I said, man, it really grinds my gears, man. It pisses me off so bad.
please someone
John,
else
what's
tell
your
me.
number two, John?
My number two would be dishonest workshops and mechanics. Yeah. you always hear go on forums and ask, well, how much do you get your car service for, and they say, usually every service is about under $200. But if you are a new person into driving and you go to a workshop, um, they will, I would say, they'll take every chance to get you to do a lot of unnecessary repairs. Perhaps my experience was bad, uh, but I've met a lot of mechanics that just want to make you spend more than necessary. And it's actually the whole industry, not only in Singapore. I think in majority of the countries, right, the advice to drivers is don't ever go to a workshop and say just do whatever is necessary, because the mechanics will just pile on everything and tell you it's necessary. So I don't know how to fix this, except that every driver needs to be more educated about what needs to be changed at each service interval, and to really question the mechanics when they say, oh, this thing is leaking, so you need to change it. So when someone says something is leaking, perhaps next time you can ask them, is it leaking or seeping? And if it is seeping, is the residue dried up or is it still watery? You just need to ask these questions, right, to throw the mechanic off, to show that you know your stuff. It's a game for them, lah. They want to catch whether you are a savvy customer or not. But it's quite unfortunate that I think it's like that, and yeah, that is my pet peeve. I can only say from my experience from the mechanics that I meet. Maybe there are really great mechanics out there and workshops out there which are very honest, but I have not met any of them, lah.
You got bad luck, man. Maybe the mechanic tell you like your headlight was leaking or something like that. Then you replace your headlights or something. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my number two, I think all of us will have this pet peeve as our pet peeve, is not signaling your intentions. To me, that is the most common problem that we face on the road today, to the point whereby I think signal stock, for cars that come to Singapore at least, signal stocks should be made as an option instead of standard because no one uses them anyway. It's very annoying because when you swerve out and decide to change lanes without signaling, you are basically just telling the guy at the back, I don't care, this is who I am, this is who I drive, this is my road, this is my right of way, when it's not supposed to be the case, because we're all here to share roads, right? And safety is utmost priority, and I cannot even begin to actually, I can't even begin to understand, or even I won't even try actually, because it really goes to show how irresponsible you really are on the road if you don't signal your intentions. Because just think of it this way, right? You don't signal and you decide to just swap lane. What if the biker comes in between and he doesn't know? Because bikers aren't stupid, right? When they see you signal your intentions, they will not ride past you. They'll just wait for you to change lanes before they go past you on a highway and they're in the middle of the lanes, right? But if you don't signal, they wouldn't know, and they'll just go. And if you decide to just swerve out, it's going to cost lives.
Yeah, I agree. There's nothing wrong with just turning on your signals. I do it even at 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a
Like
habit. It's a habit,
Yeah.
right? It's a habit. You just have to keep doing it until it becomes. And it's not like it's a bad habit. It's a good habit because you'll never know who's in your blind spot. I mean, can you imagine if you're someone who doesn't check your blind spot very regularly and you decide to just not signal and swerve out? Then somebody's gonna get killed one day, man.
Yes, exactly. Then all you can say to the officer is, "I didn't see him. I didn't
Yeah.
see him." Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
whether you see or don't see, you're still gonna get charged.
yeah, you're still gonna get into an accident. So just look over your shoulder,
Yeah.
signal, all these things are just basic stuff. Come
Yeah,
on, guys.
these are just basic driving etiquettes, man. Let's just make use of what's standard in the car.
Yeah.
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 Yes. Well,
So what's your number one? What's your top of the list?
yes, I am at the top of my list now. Um, well, I think I some might expect the other two things to be at the top of my list, like checking blind spots and stuff, but the number one pet peeve that I have in Singapore is merging lanes. Whenever I
Ooh.
come to a merging lane, I get a bit riled up because I know that there's a chance that this might happen. And it's about people who just don't believe in I don't know, how
The
do you call
zipper,
it?
zipper.
Zipper? Is it called a zipper? Where
Like,
one
yeah.
car goes first and then the other, it's a little pattern that everyone does.
Mm.
So, dude, it's just one car after one car. But somehow, some people just want to squeeze and they just
No
want to
one
be in
gives way,
front.
man.
Yeah,
No one gives way in
exactly.
Singapore. Exactly with the whole signal thing. I mean, if you signal your intention, the guy at the back will just zoom in and cover the. I think that
Yeah,
it's kind of like a chicken and egg thing. But yeah, I digress. So
yeah,
yeah.
it's ridiculous because like I would give way if there's a car in front of me and then it signals no matter what vehicle it is, if it's a heavy
Mm,
vehicle or whatnot.
mm,
I mean,
mm.
it's all about getting onto the expressway, for example, or
Yeah.
getting off the expressway, and then everyone will be out of each other's way. But somehow, I've been in situations where there will be a guy where I have right of way, where the first car goes, and I'm supposed to follow right behind him, and then there will be someone, just right on
Tailgating.
the ass of the other car. But usually I would just go in anyway, I just signal and then just slowly squeeze and make sure, that guy learns a lesson
Yeah.
or two, maybe. I'm a bit like that, a bit like I don't.
They never learn, man. They never learn. Come on,
I
man.
never back down from a fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
merging lanes. I just. Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now. It's getting
Very
riled up,
angry.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. Very angry, man.
Angry, I'm angry.
Yeah.
What's
John, what about
yours?
what's your top, man?
Oh, I'm surprised no one mentioned this. Uh, I understand that to save the earth, we need to maybe cut back on the number of vehicles and to explore alternative ways of transportation. So I understand if people cycle to work or they need to cycle for a living. What I don't understand is people who cycle on the roads for recreation. Um,
You're opening a can of worms, John.
yeah, a lot of
You're
people
gonna-
confirm whack me.
Can I leave this?
I love this, man. I love this, John.
Especially on roads with bus lanes. If you don't even have to be a driver to be irritated at these recreational cyclists. You need to be on a bus, and then you will be extremely pissed when there's a cyclist on the bus lane, and especially when the roads are packed in the morning rush hour. That means the other few lanes are packed, so there's nowhere else for the bus to overtake the cyclist,
Yeah.
and the bus will be stuck behind the cyclist after every single stop. And
Yeah.
that actually defeats the purpose of the entire bus
Having a
lane,
bus lane, right, yeah.
which is to make traffic there clear so that buses could go faster than 30 kilometers per hour, assuming the cyclist is competent. And it's really just inconveniencing a lot of people for your own entertainment. You're cycling, you're getting healthy, that's great, but there are park connectors and so many parks for you to cycle really quickly. I see a lot of cyclists at East Coast Park. They don't cycle on the cycling path. They use the service road. I think
Yeah.
their logic and argument is that on the park itself there are a lot of joggers who would slow them down. But using that same logic, they're actually slowing all the cars down when they're in the service road, and the service road is just 2 lanes, one for each direction, and they're actually making it dangerous for every other person using the road. But what can we do, right? The infrastructure in Singapore is just not ready for proper cycling on the roads.
What, do you think it'll ever be ready? I don't think it'll ever be ready, man.
It'll take several more years, but I think it is a good goal to shoot for. I'm a mountain biker, and when I ride from my house to East Coast Park, I ride on the pavement because I know that I'm not fast, and it just takes a driver who is tired or who doesn't check his blind spot to just end it for me. Like, why would I want to
Risk that, right?
risk that, you know? I could have all the right arguments in my head, you know, what I'm doing is green for the planet, you know, I have the right of way, I know the motorists should look out for me. But the moment a driver just forgets to check something, it's the end for the cyclist already. And it's much easier for me to slow down and give way to a pedestrian than, let's say, for me to avoid.
Okay, I've
huge
got
crime
one
over.
question. John, I've
Yeah.
got one question. So what happens if because wait, so can you actually as a cyclist use the pavement to cycle, or are you supposed to use the road?
You can use the pavement. Okay, there are different types of pavements. There's cycling paths, and then there are some pavements, if I'm not wrong, you're not supposed to cycle past a certain speed limit. There is a difference, but you are not breaking any laws, if I'm not wrong.
I see.
But
Okay, that's cool.
there are some rules, like if you're cycling on the pavement, right, your handlebar can't be more than, I think, 70 cm, which is actually not very feasible for most mountain bikes, because most mountain bikes, the handlebars
Could be longer
are-
than that.
Yeah, longer than 70
Yeah.
cm.
Definitely, yes.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough. That's cool.
I'm okay with cyclists. I just don't like the ones who think they have the right of way and like, bro, what's up? You know, you
Yeah.
like do something. Yeah.
No,
I'm okay with cyclists.
to some of the
Cyclists, please
cyclists-
don't kill me.
The idea of safety is to actually not stick to the left of the road. Is to actually take up the whole lane. To force
Yeah.
the car to really
They swerve
Go
in and
to-
out, right? They swerve in and out.
No,
Yeah.
they just stick to the middle of the lane, so
Ah,
that
right.
they force cars to really go to the next lane to overtake them, because it's safer for them. But then they literally take up an entire lane.
Yeah. I think you
Fair
should
enough,
only
fair
do that if you're in a big cycling group, then it makes sense. But if you're just one person or two people, come on, just share the road, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Julian, what's your number one?
Okay, my number one. I know it sounds really selfish of me, but again, because I'm an impatient driver, my number one is pedestrians taking their own sweet time to cross the road, even though it's their right of way. And that's the same for zebra crossing. It's
Ooh.
just freaking annoying because I know you have the right of way, and I'm not going to knock you down, of course, obviously, but you know, I can't stand it when they walk on the roads using their cell phones with their headphones, and then they just slowly hege a bit here and there, you know. Yes, I can do it because it's my right of way. I cannot stand that, you know. It really. So it wrecks my day, man. All I can say, I mean, I will wind down the window and say a lot of uncouth stuff to them. I will just scream at the top of my lungs out at them. Because to me, it's the same thing, right? I mean, just because you have the right of way does not mean that you can abuse it.
Yeah.
Correct.
What if I'm in a serious rush to the hospital, and it's a green light, I'm supposed to make a left turn, but because I have to stop because people are crossing the road, no matter how much of a rush I'm in, I'm not going to kill someone on the way there, right? I'm not going to knock someone down because I'm in a rush. So I have to wait. I don't have a choice. And then you see someone meddling with their phone, slowly taking their time. I mean, it really, oh man, I'm at loss for words, man. I can feel your anger, Idris. I can feel the frustration, man.
Yeah, because
This
when I
is-
cross the zebra crossing, I do it quickly. Like when I
Yeah,
see
yeah,
a car
yeah.
give way, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Tell
think
me,
it's
be
important to say
considerate,
thanks.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, just be considerate. You don't have to thank me just because I stop and give way to you at the zebra crossing of the, you know, because, I understand that you have the right of way, blah, 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 but just just cross a damn road. Don't,
Yeah.
don't waste other people's time. Just cross it. Don't take your own sweet time. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, how
You
would
can-
you like it if I do the same thing to you? Right?
Exactly. I'm pretty sure these people aren't drivers. That's why they do this.
I'm pretty
That's why
sure
I
these
made a
idiots aren't humans, man.
Aliens crossing the road, huh?
What the hell, man? Where do they come from? Right? I mean, in school, I thought they taught you health education or social and what civics and moral and stuff, right? These
When
are
I
all
was-
basic
yeah.
courtesy.
When I was in school, I think they taught me how to cross the road, if I remember correctly. You raise your hand and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
I don't know,
left,
man. I don't know.
right,
I
left.
was raised in a family, the very impatient people. My family, by nature, very impatient. So I was raised by them, and they always emphasize on not being an idiot in public, not being a nuisance, and not being inconsiderate in general. So I mean, where do these people come from, right? Man.
Yeah, this episode is, in the morning, it's making me all riled up.
I know, man.
I'm glad it's just
crazy.
three.
It's crazy. Yeah. Can you imagine if we talk about 5 men? I'm gonna kill someone, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill someone by
slam
noon.
the laptop down. Say, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I'm done with this chance.
All right.
Alright.
So anyway, guys, this is our top 3 pet peeves as a driver in Singapore. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please feel free to comment in the comment box below and tell us what are some of your pet peeves as a driver in Singapore. And also feel free to ask any questions you'd like us to answer in the comment box, or even request for any topics you'd like us to cover in the following weeks. In the meantime, stay safe, stay well. Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Crossing faster, huh?
Yeah.
Wait, Julian angry.
I think after they cross, they go and get onto their bicycle.
And they'll do it on the road like, oh.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.